men, do we have the freedom to say the things that need to be said so that others are what if we see a situation, if we see something going off the rails, whether it is with our family, whether it is within our community, and seeing something is going wrong and it's against the society's narrative, do we have the
Mm,
freedom to speak up and say what is on our mind and say and come from a logical standpoint? And I mean, we can use the example of Dave Chappelle recently. There's
mm,
been
yeah, yeah,
an
yeah,
attempt when it comes to canceling him because he
yeah.
stood up and brought across in a very eloquent way what the issues
Mm,
were when it comes to the community and
mm, mm,
and when it comes to just how we as a society gets forced to accept certain
mm.
things even if we like it or not. We need to, as men, understand there's certain internal biases that we have. There's
Hmm.
certain programming, like you mentioned. We were brought
Yeah.
up to do a certain thing. And in one of the videos that I mentioned, I actually created a video where I say that we need to become the man that you are supposed to be, not the man that you were brought up to be.
Hmm. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
the
absolutely.
guy
Yeah.
that you learn from your environment, you saw from the some of the flawed male examples you had. Some were good,
Mm,
some were bad, but you didn't get what you needed to become and to have that role and have that type of fostering from a male perspective. I'm not sure if your dad was in your life. Mine wasn't in my life,
mm,
not for the fact that he was a deadbeat dad, but he passed
mm,
away when
mm.
I was in my early teens. So I had my
Okay, sorry to hear
uncles,
that.
yeah, uncles, and my, for instance, my youth leader at church. So they poured into me, but a lot of it came from their experience and what they could bring, but not understanding this game and understanding from a red pill awareness, understanding life, accepting
Mm,
certain truths in life. So the more
yeah.
I start talking about these things, some of them push back completely, and some actually tell me on one, you know what, I never thought about it that way. I've actually,
Mm, mm.
and I say to them, I don't mind if you prove me wrong. If I'm saying something, I will always, I might be wrong, but I'm always right. That's what I always say because
Yeah.
in that moment, I'm operating
Mm.
on the information and the knowledge that I have, and I'm
Yeah, yeah,
running
yeah,
with it.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
come
yeah,
with
yeah.
something else that's going to teach me different and you give evidence to teach me that, you know what you're saying is flawed, these are the reasons and examples, and it makes sense, then I'm
Mm,
having to
mm,
course correct to say, you know what, I was wrong. But
mm,
that is
mm.
based on you giving me evidence, not
Yeah.
using sign language ad hominem attacks and then
No, no, yeah.
just basically writing off and doing the attack the messenger instead of
Mm,
listening
mm.
to what I've got to say. So
Yeah.
I kind of like actually one of the questions I wanted to ask them was, and tonight one of the questions I wanted to raise is actually is us as men, do we have the freedom to say the things that need to be said so that others are what if we see a situation, if we see something going off the rails, whether it is with our family, whether it is within our community, and seeing something is going wrong and it's against the society's narrative, do we have the
Mm,
freedom to speak up and say what is on our mind and say and come from a logical standpoint? And I mean, we can use the example of Dave Chappelle recently. There's
mm.
been
Yeah, yeah,
an
yeah,
attempt when it comes to canceling him because
yeah.
he stood up and brought across in a very eloquent way what the issues
Mm,
were when it comes to the community and
mm, mm,
and when it comes to just how we as a society gets forced to accept certain
mm.
things even if we like it or not.
Yeah, yeah. You see, the thing is, we live in a politically correct society. Let's be honest. And depending on where you are, your status wise, you're limited in what you can say. But I
Mm-hmm.
think, somebody like Dave Chappelle is a comedian, very skilled, can mix things up, very in the public eye. And then you look at the other chap who spoke a bit against gays and LGBT, the American rapper, more recently. And
The
then he
baby.
was, yeah, the baby, he was cancelled. Cancel culture is real. So, and I think your ability to speak up is going to be dependent on a number of things: your communication skills, your knowledge base, your factual knowledge base, because you can't debate opinion. If what you're saying is fact, because one thing I don't like is when it comes to these kind of societal issues, people can fall into debating opinion. You always have to debate the facts, state the facts and debate the facts. Now, opinion might come into the picture. So your ability to um, be very forthright in some of these sensitive issues is going to come to the individual competence, your individual competence.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some people will be much more skilled than others. You know, Dave Chappelle, as you said, he can speak up and probably get away with it, but he's still going to lose, some fans.
Yeah.
If you and I just went public and we said, you know what, men are shit, nobody's going to be like, okay, fine. Like,
And you
who
do the
cares?
opposite, and then
Y-
you're gonna get a
Yeah.
scold.
But if you were the president of XCOM, who sits the CEO of XCOM, who employs 100,000 people, 40,000 of which are women, and 60,000 are men, and you say men are shit, you're going to have it. So, as I say, with these things, on a balance of probability, it's highly unlikely that you're going to be able to express some harsh truth in public and not get some recourse or comeback.
Yeah, yeah, because for me, and I'm seeing that if you are a small guy and you are someone that is not, you don't have a following, you don't have a bit of clout, it's difficult for you
Mm-mm.
to come up under something from that, like that, because once the avalanche comes when of accusations, and most of the time it's not even people that has taken the time to understand what the argument is about, what the row
Mm-hmm.
is about. They just
Yeah.
jump on the bandwagon because they say they see person X, person Y, and I
Yeah.
don't like person X, so and I like person Y, so whatever Y said, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even gonna worry about the details. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
attack and attack.